guys, welcome to the Zen Den and also to Gloves Off. I've been on a mental health wellness break and I'm back. And man, am I glad because there's been things that have been peeping into my consciousness despite my desire to take a break. And I just recently did a video with my bestie, Nicole. I'm sure you guys saw it, and we went into the Boebert thing. But today I want to talk about something that's just annoying as crap to me. And even people I respect have a propensity to do this. And it's this whole thing where as soon as a Republican who we've known for years has done crappy stuff, does one good thing, we run to give them the benefit of the doubt. We give them our trust. We start thinking they might be good guys and these types of things. But it's been my experience in my long years of living that leopards don't tend to change their stripes or spots. But leopards have spots, right? Stripes, but whatever. They don't change whatever their coat pattern is. Just say it that way. And, and this is true of Brian Kemp and Raffensperger. I hope I'm saying that correctly. In Georgia. I live in Georgia. I've seen these people operate. I know they're not good people. But as soon as Raffensperger, gives Trump the business, as soon as Brian Kemp stands up to them, everyone's just, oh God, they're so great. They're honorable men. Honorable men don't stand behind 6-week abortion bans. Let me put it that way. But I digress. So I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. And show you this thing here. So this is a lawsuit brought by Marc Elias. So I'm saying that name right too. I'm horrible with pronunciations when it comes to names. So this is what he posted on Twitter. Brad Raffensperger and other state defendants is appealing federal court decisions striking down Georgia voter suppression law SB 202 that banned giving food and water to voters waiting in line beyond 150 feet of a polling place. He is just another Republican vote suppressor. Duh. D-U-H, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And the thing that aggravates me is, John Lewis once said, make good trouble. And he was right. But what I'm finding as a woman of color, when you try to make good trouble, everybody looks at you like a troublemaker. Well, I guess you are a troublemaker. But it's like, yes, you can make good trouble. Yes, people are going to look at you negatively. But it's very aggravating when the people who claim to be allies also kind of give you the side eye when you're trying your best to make sure people are treated fairly and equitably. And particularly if you're a person from that disenfranchised group, you have every right to speak up. I don't need it. It's helpful when you have allies who speak for you. But I think it's really sad that we need them because people look at the actual aggrieved and put and cast aspersions to them because they are speaking up. So yeah, and then if you read further down, one guy says, glad to have Mark on record with the definition of what voter suppression and what a great threat to democracy looks like, at least in the eyes of the world's greatest ambulance chaser. Yeah. And then somebody said, yet, unlike Trump, he wins most of his cases that he launches. That must hurt you deep. Exactly. The reason why Mark wins is because he brings the heat. He brings evidence. He has the right information. These people don't know what evidence is. They go and their uncle, Ray is telling them what to believe on some site that has Patriot in the title, and they believe anything on that site. But when it comes to court, you can't point to Uncle Ray and his postulations on what he thinks are real. You have to have actual evidence. And because these people have no idea what evidence is, they keep thinking that the whole world's against them. Yeah, even Trump appointed judges and institutions are against Trump. They even hear themselves when they say stuff like this? So you go further down and someone says, disappointed that he does this. Disappointed? No. You want to know why? because I'm well aware that this is something that he would do. I find it just ultimately, you know, amazing to me that people aren't aware of who Raffensperger, Kemp, all these people who seem to side with us on one issue are. They're not good people. Good people don't do the things that they do. They don't blow racist dog whistles. They don't go and make it. I was watching a Brian Taylor Green video the other day where a guy in Missouri is running against Josh Hawley, and I'm so glad to see it. And he's got some real momentum behind him, because in that state they actually had representatives mapping women's menstrual cycles to see if they were having abortions. They were going to Planned Parenthood in different places and getting information. And who does that? My cycles, I barely know what I'm gonna freaking have a cycle. I'm pretty regular, and that's TMI. You know why it's TMI? Because it's nobody's business, but they're making it our business. They're making everybody else's business. They're making it the government's business. That is insane. And anyone hearing about this is not a woman's issue. This is an everybody issue, because if they think they have a right to cross the line and try to chart out when I'm having a cycle because they're trying to stop all the babies from getting killed up, you best believe they're coming after you and your rights next. You know the old poem, I didn't help the socialist, I didn't help the Marxist, I didn't step in when they came to get the communists. Now they're coming for me and there's no one to speak for me. Don't think that because it seems to be a woman's issue that it is only a woman's issue. I'm going to bring up something else, and this will be one of the last things that I bring up before I get off of here. Hold on, share screen. Let's go back to this whole thing. So this is a recent development. Occupy Democrats. This is a elected Republican officials in Missouri participate in book burning. Book burning. And the thing that aggravates me about our side is those same people doing this, if they did one thing that we liked, all of a sudden we're hallelujah and bowing and scraping to these people. Don't. Never trust people who do things like this. Ever. Ever. We can make a nod towards the fact they're doing it, but the people who do this kind of stuff can never be completely trusted. I don't care what they say. I don't care how good their song and dance is. Don't trust these people. All right. Here's another thing I wanted to showcase here. Speaking about Republicans, she came out after this whole thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. Then she goes on her own and makes it seem like the only reason why she's getting any trouble is because she's a freaking MAGA. And somebody must have seen in that dark theater that she was MAGA. And so they decided to make a big thing out of it. She makes it seem like she was just sitting there quiet as a church mouse and somebody just decided to call the cops on her. A whole theater just decided to call the cops on her because she's MAGA. That's what OWN's doing. That's what Fox is pushing. That's what the Matt Gaetz are pushing. Now, somebody says here, and I'll read this to you. According to Statute 18-7-301 of the Colorado Criminal Code, public indecency is a sex crime punishable by fines and up to 6 months in prison. Should Lauren Boebert be charged? I don't know. Should Hunter Biden? He is a private citizen, and they went after him to make sure he was charged. If the same people did that are going to rally around this woman and act as if she's being victimized when she basically broke the law. If you can come after Hunter Biden, you can come after her, even more so because she's a sitting congressperson. That's where we're at, though. You want us to trust the people who would back this woman, but go after Hunter Biden. Whenever a Republican who does these kinds of things does the right thing, it is never going to be for the right reasons. Ever. Bear this in mind when you see some kind of miraculous about face. some kind of come to Jesus moment. Don't trust it. Not in this era. Not what there's too much at stake. Too much at stake to let our guard down. So I guess what I'm saying is, if Brian Kemp says I'm not going after, Fonnie Willis, great, but realize that there's something afoot there too. He's the one that set up the commission that could remove someone like Fonnie Willis. So the way I'm seeing it, in my personal opinion, and mark this date, what is it, 9/18/2023, mark this date, that if they decide to come after her, and they might, what's he going to do? Well, I said to leave her alone. And he's going to wash his hands of blood like Pontius Pilate. That's what his setup is. That's my guess. He set up a commission to do something. He's going to pretend that his hands aren't in it. He could be whispering stuff like, won't someone rid me of this troublesome priest? While pretending in the public eye that he's got no hand in it. I don't trust a person who could gerrymander. I don't trust a person who tries to criminalize giving water to people standing in a line on a hot day. And yeah, I've heard the counter arguments. You'll probably hear it in the comment section if people come and say something. Well, it's just to make sure people aren't trying to influence people's votes. And this is how stupid this is. I can't stand Trump. You think if a Trump supporter came and gave me filet mignon and caviar in a line, and I am going to vote for that man? I already know who I'm going to vote for when I go there. A ham sandwich and some sweet tea is not changing my vote. I might go, yeah, thank you. I might go, oh, yeah, have you heard about Trump? Yeah, I've heard about Trump. Thank you for the sandwich. You're going to vote for him? Well, I can't tell you I'm going to vote for him, but thank you for the ham sandwich. That's how that's going to go. It is not going to be, I'm suddenly going to vote for Trump because somebody gave me some water. That's ridiculous on its face. And they know it. So it's just another one of the things that they use to suppress another voice by making what they consider to be a reasonable argument on its face, but it's not. So what's the lesson for today, boys and girls? Well, the lesson is don't trust a Republican. Not in this day and age. Once upon a time I did. I had Republican friends. And I could split that ham sandwich. We could talk about things and we could, play games and watch video games and watch movies together. And we could argue vociferously and debate and we could still be good friends. That is not today's Republican. If they are any, I don't know where they are. And I'm just saying, be vigilant. All this hand waving, all the weird stuff, there's a reason for it. Nobody does anything without purpose. Be vigilant. Love you guys and see you soon.